night through Papua New Guinea. Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Sports In. I hope you all have been keeping well. Our brother is here back in studio with us. How have you been? Well rested?
Yes. Thank you, Dini, and good night, everyone. Really missed you last week, and I'm really happy that I'm back on set. And Dini, thank you for holding the fort. Thank you so much. I owe you one, huh?
Yes.
I owe you
maybe
one.
like some cheesecake. No. I'm actually working out.
Okay.
Probably some salad, water.
Wow. Okay. That's good. We'll try and organize that for next week. We will definitely try to organize that for next week.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, salad and water.
Okay. Very good.
All right, we have some scoreline.
Yes. Thanks, Dini. We'll go straight to the scoreline, and this is what happened last week. If we can just turn it on. There it is. Southern Super League Grand Final. The Vipers development team defeated Mosby South Blacks 16-12. Congratulations to all the teams that participated, and Vipers development, well done, the Southern Super League Grand Final. Now, in the WNRL, Broncos 2 from 2, 28-10 against the Knights. Titans 26-16 over the Roosters. Dini, what's going on? Anyway, we'll leave it there.
Let's not talk about it.
Okay, sure. And then the Dragons, I've got to say this, our very own Elsie Albert, she's going great guns, this girl. 10-0. She's become a human wrecking ball, Elsie. And, she's been tipped as one of the best forwards going around. So well done to her. In the Hostplus Cup trials, our SPPNG Hunters went down to the CQ Capris, 20 points to 10. And later on this evening, we'll be dialing in a Zoom interview with Matthew Church, which is coming on later on tonight. Dini.
Yep. Look, International Women's Day was just what? The day before.
A couple of days ago,
Yeah, so happy International Women's Day to all you women out there, great women of this great nation. And, well, you women, men as well, always the ones who are always supportive.
Yeah.
And that's the theme for this year, break the bias. So that's something that's been discussed widely in the last couple of days. And Lawrence, what are your thoughts on
I think
breaking the bias?
Yeah, breaking the bias. One of that is, of course, the NRLW. The women's league. It's been said to be rugby league's been said to be a man's sport. Now you've got these ladies just wrecking it up every week. And before in Australia, for example, they only had women play touch footy.
Yeah.
It was only a couple of years ago where they've introduced, the physical contact of it, and breaking the bias. Elsie Albert, a classic example of that.
One of the many women, Papua New Guinean women in sports that's breaking the bias right now.
Absolutely, really happy.
Yeah. All right, we'll go for a break. On the other side, Matthew Church joins us. Stay with us.
All right, good night, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Scene. We are talking rugby league, of course, with SPPNG Hunters head coach Matthew Church, who is, of course, joining us via Zoom. Coach, thanks very much for joining us again, and welcome on the show.
Thanks, Lawrence. Thanks for having me back on. It's good to be back playing games and be able to talk in and around that.
Okay, well, we got the trial match report earlier on this week from the SPPNG Hunters media team. There was a comment there by your assistant coach, Stanley Tappan. He said, this was probably the game that we needed to have. Is that a true testament of the game against CQ Capris over the weekend?
Yeah, look, I thought it was really important for us to be out playing again after a lengthy off season. But we got 13 new players playing at ISC level for the first time, and the attention to detail from Digicel Cup to the ISC competition is a lot higher. And there's some stuff you probably get away with in Digicel Cup. Referees do a great job across the world, but they don't always police it the greatest way. And they certainly do a more professional way in the ISC. So we learned some very harsh lessons in and around that. And it was one game that we probably wanted to get out of the way when the season, or when it didn't actually count for 2 points on the ladder.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a step back a week before. The match was built up against the Fijians, the Melanesian Cup that wasn't done. So again, the mental toughness of the boys, all in new territory. So again, it was good to get this game over and done with.
Yeah, look, in the world that we live in at the moment, and certainly what's been going on in Brisbane, or in Southeast Queensland, with the flooding, it's affected how we would normally prepare for a game. We played in Gladstone. It was a charter flight. We arrived really early for the game because they had the Queensland Rugby League women's game on before us, so we took that team with us. And we normally would get to the ground 2 hours before the game, but we got there at 4. And there's a lot of things that led into it. Not trying to make excuses. We were really poor, but we got some really good lessons out of it. And we had some really good honesty in our team meeting on Monday to address these issues.
Aulato, there's some concern about him.
Yeah, so Ila went into the first tackle of the match, and I guess for the first game, and your timing's not always perfect. And in a random sport, there was a collision, and the guy kind of ducked his head and headbutted Ila's collarbone, and so he's broken his collarbone, and he's been in and had a plate and some screws put in it. So he'll be spending a amount of time off. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to go, but really disappointing. He had a similar different injury, but similar circumstances in 2019 where he broke his arm in the first game, and then didn't really play much of the rest of the season. So disappointing, but he's been really good and really positive around the group, and he can still have a positive effect around the camp. So he set himself some targets to get back and to make a difference when he comes back.
Very quickly, the notable players that stood out over the weekend: Sylvester Namo, Samuel Yegib, of course, Dilbert Isaac, and Roderick Tai. They went pretty well over the weekend.
Yeah, the first 3 that you named are returning players, so you expect them to know the system do really well. And I thought they were really good. Roderick Tai was quite impressive. He's obviously someone that I was keen to bring in a lot earlier than this year, but he had to finish his studies and get that completed before he wanted to come in. So he's a smart guy, and he's picked up our systems and understands it, really well. So I thought it was really encouraging signs for his first game at this level.
All right, Coach. I'll speak to you next week as we preview your game into the first game. But how are you feeling? You're all, quietly confident that we'll have a better start to the season this time around.
Yeah, look, we started well the season last year. It was that midpoint where I think we went 9 games straight without winning, and we obviously certainly don't want to see that again. So we're a very fit squad at the moment. Take out Aulato, we're all fit and ready to go. So we're looking to build on what we've learned in the preseason. We've lost a number of experienced players, and we understand that. But we certainly don't want to use that as an excuse going into 2022. And we want to be a team that that plays for something at the end of the year, and to do that, you've got to make the finals. So that's certainly a goal of ours.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for that, Coach. Listen, again, we wish you all the best for the game this week. And very quickly, South Sydney versus Broncos on Friday. What's your tip?
If you read anything in the trial form, you'd have to pick South Sydney, because I think the Broncos haven't been that flash. I know there's a huge PNG contingent that are Broncos fans, so I'm hoping for them that you see the Broncos win in their round 1 game.
All good, Coach. Thanks a lot for chatting to us again, and we'll join you next week.
No worries, Ryan. See you next week. Thank you.
All right, there we go. Coach Church, SB PNG Hunters head coach there. We'll take a short timeout right here on Sports Scene, and we'll be back with more. All right, good night, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Scene. We are talking netball now with the president of the PNG Netball Federation, Mrs. Aulato Avei. We've been able to catch her. She's a very busy lady, but able to catch her today. President, thank you for joining us on Sports Scene.
Good evening, Laurie, and thank you for the invitation and to talk about netball.
All right. Well, last time we spoke was late last year on netball and COVID-19 and how you're going with that. You've got a busy year schedule. Of course, we have to work with the new normal. Maybe give us a rundown of netball PNG and the events we can look forward to internationally and also domestically within our country. What's happening?
Thank you, Lawrence. 2022 will be an exciting but a very challenging year for netball. For the international competitions, I must, from the outset, say thank you to Australian government through DFED and through Netball Australia in creating a partnership with Netball PNG. This year we have 2 Pacific Netball series happening under the Pacific All Sports program, of which one is commencing in March, which all 4 Pacific nations are coming together: Samoa, Fiji, Tonga, Papua New Guinea, and Singapore has been included because while they're in Australia, they have expressed to be part of the tournament. Yeah, very good. Yeah. So this is a series that will happen in March and one in September. Okay. Yeah, under the Pacific All Sports program. There are 3 DFED programs. Okay. One is the high performance, of which Pacific All Sports falls under. And there's the second program is Official Development Assistance Program, of which we have to establish an office and recruit a CEO and a couple of sports development managers to operationalize netball in PNG. And the third program is the continuation of the team-up program that we go out and conduct coaching classes and in the schools and what. So I am very grateful for those 3 programs. And from the outset, I must acknowledge former President Julian Leka and her board for doing the groundwork. And my job now, I've been implementing it since last year. Yeah, I'm executing the 3 programs now. So in terms of those 3 programs, they cover up the 2022 year. Wow. We have 3 international competitions this year. One is commencing in a week's time. That's the Pacific All Sports program. The second one is World Cup Qualifiers in Fiji. And that's a challenging one because with the COVID-19 protocol still in place, slowly being lifted, Papua New Guinea, because of its very low vaccination rate, we are classified under the Fijian government as a non-partner country. Wow. Wow. So if we have to travel, we have to go through a 14 days quarantine, apart from the other Pacific nations.
You'd need to do 14 days this way, and 14 days when you get there.
Correct.
And that's a whole month.
Yeah, it's a whole month. So that's a challenging one that we, the board is still deliberating on whether we send a team or not. But we're keeping our fingers crossed, and Oceania president is slowly, every week is monitoring me on the Fiji status of government. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the World Cup qualifiers, and then you said later on the Pacific Series.
Another Pacific Sports Series in September. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Under the Pacific Sports Series and under the HP program, is a program called Immersion Program, which has been introduced.
Immersion.
Immersion. Okay. Of which this year at least 6 girls will be part of the Australian clubs. As part of their sport netball development, they'll be staying there for 3 to 6 months.
Oh wow!
To join the clubs, one of the clubs, and I'm very happy. Yep. I'm very happy and thankful that the first one is starting. We'll be leaving here after the March Pacific Netball Series.
Oh wow! Okay, all right.
We have Shanna Zapelis.
Very good.
Who has now qualified to join Wildcats in Brisbane.
Wow. So she stays there for 3 months?
Yeah, 3 to 6 months. Wow. She's a defender. Okay. And we've got another 6 lined up. Okay. Another 5 lined up for this program. Yep. Both in the defense, shooting, and the mid-court round. So that's our immersion program under this.
Okay.
And so 2002 we'll be starting. We're slowly progressing through it.
So over the next course of a couple of months, you will then be selecting another 5 girls to go down for this program as well.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we've sent the nominations in,
Yep.
and they go through the Netball Australia process. Where, and one of the things, Lawrence, is becoming quite critical now is the height.
Yeah.
Height has to come in the selection criteria now. And the lesson for the first nominee, Shanes, has taught us a lesson that we must change our
I'm
selection.
getting a bit emotional. I know Shanes very well.
Yeah.
She comes from our local club.
Yeah, that's
you know,
that
so.
I know. Yeah. So we are very happy that, but the board is now discussing the selection policy now to go in that direction because selection we have to look at height now.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank you. Yeah.
to our first girl that's going. That's on the international scene. Maybe you want to give us a quick update just in PNG, national champs and other events that Netball PNG will be hosting?
Okay, we 2 weeks ago we had our annual general meeting, and the council has endorsed to have the national championships in Port Moresby.
Okay.
Port Moresby Netball and Motokoita associations will host that netball. But the challenge again is where to hold it.
Yes.
Where to hold it, yeah. We've been trying our best to go back to Rita Flynn courts, but to date we haven't got any approvals, and we find it very, very unfair. Why soccer is happening, why rugby league is happening, why not give the same preference to netball? And we are looking forward to working closely with Sports CEO for Sports Foundation and the government officials to try and get back into
I mean,
Rita Flynn
we
courts.
said it last year. You've sent numerous letters and emails to try and get some sort of friction to get netball started.
Correct. But we're encouraging all the associations to get back to netball, and we've written to the controller to get some approvals, a blanket approval for everybody to get back. But if you see, a lot of the netball activities happening in the rural sector, which we appreciated because it's part of one of our objectives is to promote netball and to establish that mass participation. So in that context, I'm very happy that netball is happening in the rural sector. It's the big areas, the big towns that we cannot, we cannot because of the COVID-19 restrictions,
Okay, no worries. Well, just to quickly go back on the Pacific Oz Sports Netball Series, very quickly, it's in Sydney from March 21 to 26. The team leaves on Monday. And what's the makeup of the team for that?
Okay. We received the invitation quite late, in a very late November. So the board decided that we get 6 overseas-based, Australian-based, and 6 PNG, because of the timing and the COVID-19 restrictions. And in fact, it's there's a lot of preparatory work in terms of the travel now.
Absolutely, it wasn't like before where you just book the ticket.
We get on the plane and no, there's a lot of things that has to be done.
All right, there we go. That's Netball PNG President Mrs. Aulato Avei talking to us about netball and the issues they're going through. The team flies off on Monday. It is the Pacific Oz Sports Netball Series, starting March 21 to 26. They've got some lead-up games and coming up before heading down to Sydney. And we want to wish all the girls and the coaching officials all their best. And I'm sure we'll be trying to connect with them over the course of the next couple of weeks to get the results. We'll take a short time out now, and we'll be back with more on Sports Scene.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. Last segment here on the show. We have a couple of announcements to make, but before that, we'll go through what's coming up this weekend, Lawrence.
Thanks, Dini. Let's take a look at the rundown for this weekend. Okay, it is the first weekend of the NRL. Round number 1, Panthers versus Sea Eagles kicks off round number 1 tonight. Raiders versus the Sharks and Broncos versus the Rabbitohs at Suncorp Stadium on Route 600. Dini?
Yeah, and the Roosters will just beat the Knights.
Okay, Roosters.
We'll get past this week.
Roosters will beat the Knights. That's the rest of the games played for round number 1 NRL. Warriors versus the Dragons. Tigers versus the Storms. I say that Storms with a lot of... Anyway. Eels versus Titans. And the Cowboys will take on the Bulldogs as we kickstart the NRL for 2022. Now, Women's NRL, this is actually the competition of 2021. They've brought it to 2022. The Roosters versus the Knights. Dragons v Broncos, as I said earlier on. Both teams are 2 from 2, so a really good matchup there. And the Eels take on the Titans. I think there's one couple. That's it. All right. Those are the games, both the NRL and also the WNRL. As Matthew Church said in the Zoom interview, they're taking on a Brisbane team this weekend. It'll be their last preseason game before they start the Hostplus competition the following week. Dini.
All right, back on home soil, we will be following the OFC qualifiers very closely on TV, on EMTV, of course. Lawrence, would you like to share the dates with us? It's from the 17th to the 30th?
That's right. The OFC qualifiers, our PNG couples have gone through to Qatar, and they've gone through to qualify, hopefully qualify for the Oceania, and it'll be live and free right here on your number one to watch, MTV from March 17 through to March 31. So just a week or so left, and we'll be watching the couples right here on MTV. Really looking forward to the games, and I'm sure the boys revved up. We qualify for the games, man, for the World Cup. Wow, that's going to be amazing. It's a very tough pool, Dini.
It is.
But the boys are quietly confident they'll do well.
And we wish them well. And look, in international sports, cricket has lost a legend as well. Yeah,
absolutely, Dini. Over the last couple of days, the MCG in Melbourne, we're talking about the late Shane Warne, spin king. The guy was absolutely a marvel to watch at. I had the privilege of growing up and watching him, do the leg spin and do his magic. Unfortunately, he was pronounced dead while they rushed him to hospital in Thailand. And look, it's a really sad moment for us, and I'm sure for just the cricketing world. He was much more bigger than just cricket. Right throughout the world, sporting personalities. He was one of them, and so we also here at the Sports Scene crew, we want to also convey our deepest condolences to Shane Warne and his family. Rest in peace, Spin King. Really sad indeed.
All right, and on to some updates for Team PNG. 99 days to the Pacific Mini Games. So we will be bringing you those preparations in the coming weeks leading up to the opening ceremony of the Pacific Mini Games in Northern Marianas. So that's what's up in the coming weeks. That's about it, Lawrence. Any last words to share?
No. Well, look, I had a week off. I'm raring to go play some basketball, and you've obviously been working out. You're looking fine as always. So well done, Dini. I really got to hand it to you. Okay, enough of
Thanks.
that. Enough of that. But,
bring the camera back to me.
But look, health is king.
Yes, that's right.
We just need to ensure that we look after ourselves. And over the last week or so, I've been able to just be refreshed, refueled, and ready to take it on again.
Take on the next few weeks again.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right, that's about it. We will leave you here, but before we go, story tips. If you have any talk survey at all that you would like to share with Sports Scene, please call us on 312-9229, or you can email us at sports@emtv.com.pg, showing on your screen right now, or you can message us on our Facebook page, Sports Scene that is, and leave your story tip or your talk survey, at least your full name and an email address or a phone number, a reliable one, so we can get back to you. So that's about it. We will see you same time, same place next week. Until then, take care. Bye for now.
Good night.